What's up, YouTube? It's your boy RushMoreRick. I'm back with another reaction video. Today we got something a little different. We got a Jubilee video. We got Jillian Michaels versus the body positivity movement. If you're unfamiliar with their segment that they do on their channel called Surrounded, is when one person, it could be anybody, politicians, health expert, doctors, etc. It could be anybody. They sit in the middle and they give their claim, what they think to be true, what they think to be, whether it's factual or just a matter of opinion, and they got people that surrounded them. First person that makes it to the chair, they go at it for like 2 or 3 minutes to debate, or until they get voted out the chair. I love this concept. I love this format. But what really drew me to this one, because we have Jillian Michaels here, who's I don't know if she's a fitness expert or a dietitian expert, but she knows a lot of factual information about the food industry, especially about the body positivity movement, and she in here holding her shit down. She in there, she's being gangster right now. It's nothing more gangster than a person that's willing to sit down and debate and have a conversation. But I don't want to ramble. Let's tap in. Let's see what we got. If I agree with her claim, I'll tell you why. If I disagree with her claims, we'll talk about it for sure. But let's tap in. Enough rambling. Let's go.
Time. Thank you.
Hey. My next surrounded claim is that the body positivity movement oversimplifies disordered eating and trauma.
All right, whoever wants to be the next debater, get to the chair in 3.
The body positivity movement oversimplifies disordered eating and trauma. Okay.
2, 1.
I'm not going to assume, but I imagine you have some sort of maybe personal experience with eating disorders or disorder eating?
Definitely as a kid, would overeat. I wouldn't say binge eating disorder, but I would compulsively overeat. I would eat, have a connection with my father. I would eat to feel a sense of comfort. I would eat to feel a sense of control, without question.
And did you feel shame and then go to therapy to work on that, or did you just oversimplify it and then kind of?
I didn't oversimplify. I was 13, 14, and 15, so I didn't have the bandwidth to process what was actually going on. I was in therapy for other things that were going on in my household, and I definitely was helped.
Okay. So I'm glad that you were able to, go to therapy. That's not.
Whenever y'all see me like look down here and then sometimes I look up here, it's like it's dead ass. Sometimes I don't know which one I want to look at, whether it be the fucking computer screen or the monitor screen. Like I dead ass don't be knowing sometimes. That's why you'll see me if I'm looking like this, obviously I'm looking at y'all, I'm looking at the camera talking to y'all, but then I'm right here below, I'm looking at the monitor. Right here I'm looking at the laptop screen. So yeah,
Something that everyone is able to go to. It's a luxury and a privilege for a lot of people, especially in the United States. I have dealt with an eating disorder since I was 7. That's when it was first realized. It wasn't diagnosed at 7, but it was realized at that point. And my body fluctuated. I'm not going to use numbers because I think there are a lot of people that have disordered eating that use numbers as a metric, and so they'll look at me and I'll say a metric, and then it'll cause someone to have what I like to call a shift in where they are now to where they're going to be down like a rabbit hole of disordered eating behaviors. I think that trauma and eating disorders go hand in hand, but they're not exclusive. There are people that don't necessarily have any trauma, but somehow have developed some sort of eating disorder. My eating disorder was something that I had from a really young age, and then just worsened because of my physical perception around people. But it wasn't something that innately was trauma-based. I am neurodivergent, and it was never diagnosed until I was, almost 30. So. But that's not because of trauma. That's just because of my neurodivergence. That's how my brain is connected. And so sometimes with neurodivergent people, they have eating rituals, eating routines that are rigid. And so that's where mine came from. So to say it's oversimplifying EDs, like body positivity is oversimplifying EDs, oversimplifying trauma. You're taking away the people that that use the body positivity moment to find someone who they can relate to, and so someone that they can connect with that doesn't have the same road that maybe the masses had, but has their same road. Yeah.
You've been voted out by the majority.
Yeah, I was about to say. So if I didn't explain it in the beginning, either they go back and forth and they debate, for the full set, like 2 or 3 minutes, or you get a certain amount of votes, red flags, and the people in the chair, you could get voted out the chair. I was literally just about to say, this woman did not debate or go against any claim, did not go against any, like, I don't know. One of the, like, I've watched a few of the surrounders, like, not specifically just this one, but, like, I watched a few of them, and what I noticed, a lot of people who aren't good debaters, they don't get into the chair and instantly they say, oh, your claim is inaccurate, your claim is not true, I don't agree with your claim, and here's why, ... They get in the chair and they tell their story as if, I get it, I get that you want to tell your story, but at the same time, your story is you're just one person. You're speaking from a unilateral experience, if that's a proper way to say that. A singular, let's just say a singular experience, for just so I can be like more correct with what I'm saying. But you speak from a singular experience, and you're not even using your singular experience to debunk the claim or agree with the claim or whatever. So like a lot of these people on this episode, it's like it's I see one of the comments where it's like this episode is literally facts versus feelings. And when you're having a debate, and you're especially one as big as this, when you're talking about the body positivity movement, you don't want to be in your feelings about this shit. You want to be hearing the facts so you can know what the fuck is going on, and so you're not being led by a bunch of blind people and being tricked into buying into a movement that's this farming you, that's juicing you, that's making you believe that fatness is okay, that's making you believe that obesity is okay, just so they can pump numbers out of you, pump dollars out of you.
Please return to your seat.
Hi,
I'm Summer. How are you?
Jillian. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Okay, so the body positivity movement actually got me out of my eating disorder, and if that's okay, I would like to tell you a little bit about it.
Absolutely.
See, and this is another instance where we're not talking about the claim, and this would not infuriate me, but this would this would annoy me as a debater, as a person who's listening to the debate in one of the chairs. These niggas are taking this moment in the debate to not debate the claim. We just want to tell our stories. By all means, you can tell your story in so many other platforms, but why are we doing this right now or today?
So growing up, I wasn't ever fat. I just have I have large breasts. I have got a condition, basically. I know you're laughing.
I'm laughing because that would be my dream. That's the only reason I'm laughing. I was like, poor you, Summer.
I'm
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Not to try to invalidate how you feel.
That's okay. That's
sorry.
okay.
Go ahead.
So I've got a condition called macromastia. It means that my breasts will just continuously keep growing. So I had to deal with this like my whole childhood, and I got like picked on and bullied and stuff because I was 8 years old with like double Ds. So that's absolutely okay. I went to the doctors, and they actually told me that I had to lose weight in order to get a reduction. At this point, I was actually a Scottish size 6, which is a UK size 2. So like on the bottoms, just obviously not on my top. So this actually drove me into an eating disorder, and I started to starve myself and try and make myself thinner so that my breasts would get smaller, and that never ever happened. Like they just continuously, because it's obviously a condition, so they just kept getting bigger as I was getting smaller and smaller. And it wasn't until obviously the online platform made the body positivity movement more aware to me, and then that really helped me, and it's made me start eating more. It made me start posting more online about my body, and I just think that your claim's a little bit silly.
Can I give you some examples?
Of course, please.
So, while intuitive eating is actually not intended for people with eating disorders, I cannot tell you how many people have misinterpreted that. And I've ended up dealing with it personally for quite some time now. So for example, things like avoid diets where mechanistic eating is actually recommended for people with many different types of eating disorders. And even the women who started intuitive eating suggested that, like, hey, this is a goal, not a treatment plan. But when you've got, random people online who are, hey, just listen to your feelings of fullness. You can't do that when you're anorexic. Your body no longer recognizes those satiety cues. It absolutely shuts it down. And it's, what was it? Listen to your hunger. Like you cannot do that if you have binge eating disorder and you're feeding a deeper hunger. It's the fundamental ways in which things like intuitive eating have been misrepresented by the masses. And of course, I understand what it was intended for, but if you think that the vast majority of these people posting on TikTok have read the frickin' guidelines of mechanistic eating, I think we're both dreaming.
No, I get that, but I think the thing in my head is like, why do you care so much about someone else's body in order to like try and argue against body positivity? Like, say someone's like fat, obese, whatever, walking on the street, that doesn't actually affect you as a person.
Totally.
And that's not what it's about, though. Because in that retrospect, yes, nothing about nobody else, no matter what they're going through, will ever affect you. You can only have a thought about it. But if you're a person in her shoes, in Jillian Michaels' shoes, you care about the obese people, because there's a whole movement in the world that is fucking persuading other people to just say, I don't give a fuck, I want to be fat, and it's not healthy. You got young kids that are obese and getting diabetes. A lot of that shit leads to nowhere but a quicker death. So when she sits here and she says all this, she tells her story and she says, I just don't understand why you care so much. It has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with me if John down the street decides to go fucking rob the gas station. It has nothing to do with me if Miss Angela start cheating on her husband. Like that, for you to say that has nothing to do. You're right. You're 100% correct. But if you're in a position like this where you're trying to persuade the world that the body positivity movement, yes, it could have been something that was started out of social acceptance, has become something that just becomes like fat obedience, where it's like, or fat tolerance, where we created this movement to make the world aware that we're okay with being out of shape. We're okay with being unhealthy. We're okay with being obese. We're okay with just throwing our lives away. You know what I'm saying? That's why she cares. That's why we care.
Right.
So I don't understand why you would feel the need to fight for people that are arguing for that person to feel validated as a person.
I'm not arguing for the person I don't know. However, there are people that do want help, and I think that this can leave them feeling exceptionally confused. And there are many that I have tried to personally help that have experienced feeling misled, misguided by some of the, or almost all of the intuitive eating principles, and they're not being educated on that.
But you could also argue like the latter.
But there are a lot of people that actually want help, and I care that they get the most.
But I don't think the body
help.
positivity movement is like just for obese people, just for people that are drastically need help.
Anorexia is not obesity.
So I was anorexic, and the body positivity movement helped me. Do you not think that the body positive movement helps them rather than shaming them? Because that's how they get in that place in the first place, with other people shaming them constantly.
I am not suggesting anyone should be shamed. You're completing two different issues. I don't think
But
that
I
people...
think in one, it's all one issue.
It's not though, sweetheart. You're telling me that you think I think shame is awesome. I don't.
No, I didn't.
I don't.
That didn't come out of my
I
mouth.
think that these tools, or things like, oh, you know what? It's society, it's diet culture, it's this, it's that, it's bigotry. No, dude, it's probably the fact that like somebody, God forbid, touched you when you were a kid.
I don't think that's appropriate or even right. In the slightest bit.
You
No
really
one
don't think
touched
so?
me.
No, not you, dude.
Yeah, get her out the chair. This bitch is stupid. Stupid. Oh yeah, she about to get voted out.
Activity. Like, I hope you don't have a daughter, because my little sister, like, needs.
Don't
everyone's just gonna
care.
be looking
Don't
up,
care.
Stopping people from...
Don't care. Get her out the chair. Get her out the chair. Get her out the chair.
Really nice to meet meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Lilia. So I think the language there is a little bit tone deaf, just because I actually believe that gym talk, diet culture oversimplifies eating disorders.
Two separate issues, though. Both can be true at the same time.
Both can be true, as in
You could absolutely be making, first of all, gym talk should have nothing to do with eating disorders. So you're right. But it's a separate issue than the claim I'm making.
how is it separate?
Well, okay. So you're saying gym talk oversimplifies trauma and eating disorders, right?
Well,
I agree
not
with
just
you.
gym talk, but just the way that our youth, all of us we are all exposed to that. Like, we can't just avoid it. And when
Still
you
a
see
separate issue, though. I'm trying to say that the ways body positivity suggests people deal with body issues and trauma is an oversimplification. And it has to do with things like intuitive eating principles that get misrepresented by influencers.
Okay.
Okay.
I can definitely agree with that.
Well, then, unfortunately,
But I
you and
think-
I are so far on the same page.
Well, no, I think, well, the way I see it is that body positivity is actually the bridge between health experts and anybody else, really.
Explain it.
Because I think that if I go to a doctor, it should be empowering for me to talk about my body.
Of course.
However, when I usually speak to a health expert, it's really not. I'm really more just afraid that they're going to speak to me in a way that degrades my body.
They're not gonna and they're not gonna speak to you in a way that degrades your body. They're gonna speak to you in a health how can you say, in a health factual way that you need to hear. If you're going to the doctor and they do your blood work and you're overweight, or they got you stepping on the scale, like, I'm no medical person, I don't know all the terminologies, the fuck, but I know a doctor is not there to be your friend. A doctor is not a therapist. Yes, as a person, you know what I'm saying? Take the job title away. As a person, you want to be kind. You don't want to be an asshole. You don't want to be mean. You don't want to be rude. But a doctor is not there to be your friend. A doctor is not there to be your guide. A doctor is not there to, well, not your guide, because they should obviously, like, I feel as though if a doctor is telling you that you have A, B, C, they should also be able to relay the tools, or point you in the right direction to help combat A, B, C. So yeah, and essentially I'm wrong. They should be your guide, but they're not your therapist. They're not somebody that needs to hold your hand and talk to you like you're like a 3-year-old child in preschool. That's not their job. That's not their role. As an adult, you got to think about it. No matter the circumstances, you're obese, you're fat, you're overweight, you got diabetes, whatever. Throughout the course of your life, you took actions that led you there. You were an adult in those situations. So when it's time where you realize that you went so far off the deep end and you need to fix yourself, you need to go get some help, you need to go get some tests done, you gotta be a big girl, you gotta go be a big boy, you gotta be an adult and sit in that doctor's office, and you gotta be able to sit with what you're hearing, because your actions led you down this path.
And makes me feel that shame that you've mentioned. Shame is not a motivator. It really turns people away, whereas the body positivity movement teaches people to have the kind of confidence.
And I have a little, I disagree. Obviously, shame in bullying is fundamentally wrong, but for you to say that that's not a motivator for doing better, that's incorrect. So many people in society got on their shit because in their younger years that they were bullied, they were shamed, they were talked down upon, they were like, no matter, like, in those aspects, that shit does exist, and people they get that it can either make or break you in a sense, and yes, it's kind of wrong, but you'd be lying if you said that, like, your traditional American younger middle school, high school experience, you faced a time where people were talking shit about you, and you could do one or two things. You can hear the noise, you can work on said things. You could turn up. You could, you know what I'm saying? And empower yourself. You can hear the negatives and turn them shits into positives, or you could hear the negatives and you could crumble underneath them. And obviously nobody wants that, but it's like more times than not, these niggas that get in these high ass powers, just like, oh, I was bullied my whole life, and now look at me now. I got a 6-figure career. I'm the boss of a tech startup, a Fortune 500 or whatever. Like people use that negative fuel to fucking drive their lives because they know how it feels to be shamed. They know how it feels to be bullied. They know how to feel to be looked over, to be passed over, and they don't want that. They don't want to settle for that to be their reality. So what do? They take their lives in their hands, which everybody has the capability to, and no matter how great your struggle is, your life is in your own hands. You have the power to boss your situation up. You have the power to lose that weight. You have the power to put the fucking spoon down, put the fork down, or you have the power to put yourself in a calorie deficit. Go to the gym every day. You have that power, whether you're being shamed or not. But let's not sit here and be naive and act like shame and bullying is not one of the biggest fucking motivators in society. Everybody cares what everybody thinks. Even when you shouldn't. Everybody cares what everybody thinks.
Confidence they need to make choices for
How's it
themselves.
teaching you that?
When you look at yourself in the mirror and you tell yourself, I'm ugly, I'm fat, I'm gross, I don't deserve to be, alive. Like some people get to that extent, right?
It's a little extreme.
When you do that to yourself, that is not going to motivate you to then go make the choices that I think we all know are healthy for us.
Totally agree.
Which doesn't.
Then what's the next step, though, dude?
I think that's what we're here
Just
to,
looking in
to
the
speak
mirror
about.
and
I
saying,
think that's
actually, I'm healed.
So that's not what body positivity. That's not what body positivity is. Body positivity is promoting the healing of said wounds.
How?
By
This is where I'm
finding.
telling you, it's an oversimplification.
It's not though.
Tell me how. How is it going to heal you?
By telling
looking
people
in the mirror and
by
saying, I
looking
no
in the mirror
longer think
and
so.
saying these shameful things to yourself,
Yes.
you already know that it degrades you, and you're not going to want to do the things that most
so then
people.
what comes after deciding not to beat yourself up? We're both on the same page there. Now
I
get
think
below the tip of your
we're
iceberg.
seeing different perspectives of the same page, right? And that's why I do believe that body positivity is the bridge that we all need.
Tell me what comes after. The moment you decide you're not going to say that shit in the mirror anymore, then what?
Then I should be able to consult health experts that are also body positive towards my body.
No one's saying not
Instead-
to.
Okay, so tell us who the health experts are that are body positive. Because if I should be able to go to a doctor
define
or
what you want when you say body positive, what kind of health expert are you looking for? I know
She wants a best friend. She wants a middle school grade teacher. She wants a mommy. She wants a daddy. She wants a great grandmom. She wants those style of doctors, those style of nutritionists, those style of dietitians. She wants somebody to all right, I'm gonna hold your hand and walk with you while I tell you this. That's what she wants. And in reality, you're a grown ass woman. You need to be able to go to any doctor. Like obviously, you want the best care. Go to where you get the best bang for your buck. Go to where your insurance is able to, you know what I'm saying, get you the best quality care. But at the same time, you're a grown ass woman. Sit your ass in that chair and listen to that doctor tell you, all right, this is what we found. This is what we're seeing. This is what we see. In order for you to get healthier, we need you to start doing this. Like, I don't understand what's so hard about hearing that. I feel like this generation has become so fucking weak where we don't want criticism. We don't want, you know what I'm saying? We don't want somebody to fully analyze us and give us only the things that we need to work on. We need to hear, all right, for every negative comment, I need a positive comment. Like, if you can't speak about me positively, then I don't want to hear it, or it won't register with me, or it won't resonate with me. Get that weak shit out of here. We're a grown ass people. You live your life and you control every decision that you make. So you need to be able to live your life and control everything that you hear that relates to every decision that led you down this point. That's what she wants. She wants a fucking somebody to hold her hand.
A million doctors, and all of them would love to help somebody, whether
But
they're...
what is help? Is help saying you need to get your ass in the gym. You need to.
No doctor will ever say that. They would literally lose their license. They would literally lose their practice. No doctor has ever come out their mouth and said to somebody, you're a fat ass and you need to get in the gym. No doctor has ever said that.
Restrict your
You
eating,
tell me
whatever.
what help is for you when you go to that
That's
doctor.
what I think everybody should have the opportunity and confidence to do, and that's what body positivity is teaching people. It's not teaching people that they're perfect in the mirror and that they don't deserve to have the courage to change.
You still haven't given me a how. All you're telling
What
me is...
I think we all are here to figure out how, because nobody has the answer.
That is not true. Many people have
so-
the answer, sweetheart. Psychoanalysts have the answer.
I'm sorry, I don't like to be called sweetheart when we're...
All right, yeah, okay. Get her out the chair, please. Yeah. Like I'm telling you, like just like a weak ass generation. I don't like to be called sweetheart while we're talking. It's just it's a fucking something that you say. Shut up.
Oversimplifying can actually give bad advice.
But the fundamental...
No, don't want to hear it.
Hi.
I've been on a diet since I was like 6.
Okay.
You've talked a lot about trauma, being molested, parents, this and that.
Yes.
I've heard of someone mention the BMI. I've heard people use the word obese.
Okay.
So what is your thought on this oversimplification? I think actually the medical industry and a lot of health professionals have oversimplified.
I'm sorry if that's happened to you. I think you're seeing the wrong people. I know a lot of really good people.
But that's also privilege. Of course you know a lot of good people. You're a rich white woman who's been on television. And I would love to know, you know, somebody
A lot of
mentioned
them
the
write
show.
books.
Pause. Am I should just freeze? Y'all seeing this shit? I should just freeze.
Totally.
A lot
I
of
could read a
them-
book. I've read a lot of diet books, Jillian.
Not a diet book.
Or whatever. What kind of book? A self-help book?
Well, I mean, if you're struggling with an eating disorder and you're telling me I have no access to
Well, how do
any
I know if I'm
expert-
struggling with an eating disorder? Where does genetics play into all of this?
Do you want to take on genetics? We can.
Go ahead. Are you a scientist?
Do you think you have to be a scientist to
No,
understand
but
the
I
way
haven't heard
genetics
one
work?
comment about where do genetics
Well,
play
that's
in.
that's not the claim. If you want to get into genetics and
Repeat
obesity,
the claim again. First of all, obesity is a very outdated term. It's based on the BMI, which is based on white men.
actually-
in this. Come on, Jillian. You could be single-handedly responsible for updating the BMI.
Okay, but we also have waist to hip, and we have DEXA, and we have MRI.
Yeah, but let's be honest.
So
what are the
with BMI,
MRI meaning
you
like
don't
the
even-
machine most fat people don't even fit in?
You have DEXA.
Whose fault is whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? Hey, whose fault is that?
I've heard of
to
that,
hip.
girl. What's a DEXA?
DEXA
These
scan.
are normal people. We are on TikTok.
Okay, how about waist to hip?
Hold on. There's also been a lot
Waist
of
to
like
hip
blame,
ratio?
sure, waist to hip ratio, but that's also like
I'm not on medical TikTok. I'm not on obese TikTok. I'm on gym talk because I'm active in the gym. But I know what a DEXA scan is. I know, like there are tons of things in the world that there are scans that are able to give you your fucking body mass index, fucking your bone density, your total fat on your body. There's tons of things that you can do that show you that your accurate body information just pertaining to your body.
skeletal and like how do you,
No, waist to hip is not. It has to do with a ratio of your waist to your hips, and it's evidence, sorry to say, of excess visceral fat. That's what it's for. And that's an indicator of obesity.
So obesity, that term, what does that mean to you?
Obesity, it means that you have an unhealthy percentage of body fat.
What is healthy? What is unhealthy? Like, what is the measure of health for human
For
beings?
women, I think it's in the 35 plus percentile.
35 plus percentile of what? By what measure? The DEXA?
35% of your body weight being comprised of body fat.
The thing that I think is most interesting is, and you didn't get to earlier,
You didn't ask me earlier.
well, I haven't gotten there, is no, with someone else. You said, because I'm seeing a very different person than from who we've seen on television. And I think there's been a lot of blame shifting to influencers and TikTok. And the reality is, girl, that's where we're all getting our info now. I've never seen a full episode of The Biggest Loser because my parents told me to watch it and I said, all the way off.
Right, but you have no rage at your parents whatsoever, right?
Oh, well, I'm not fat because of the rage at my parents.
All the way off? That doesn't sound like a primary wound, telling your parents to all the way off.
But the
Is that not evidence of what I'm saying?
Totally. Primary wound plus genetics plus whatever choices I make in my life is where what you're
Can I ask you
now.
something? Pick the argument we want to have. Do you want to have a debate?
I want to hear who
discuss
you are on the
genetics?
show, who that person is and was,
Okay.
and who this person is now. Because
Same
I'm seeing
person. It's not at all. Can I say something? You just told me you never watched an episode of Biggest
Oh, but I've seen TikTok clips. I saw the documentary. I mean,
have
who
you
hasn't?
have you ever seen a full episode? Let's say with one of my contestants like Abby Wright.
Tell me about
or
the show.
Michelle
Tell me
Aguilar.
whatever. Tell me who you were on the show. Tell me where that Jillian Michaels. Because to be
I will,
honest,
but you
we've
gotta
all
let me talk.
Sure, for
Okay, I'm the exact same person that you see now. Now, of course, yes, you would see parts of what I was doing. You would never see the entire picture of what I was doing, and you would never understand why I was doing it. So let me address the part that you're thinking of, okay? I had a contestant, 500 pounds. This contestant in particular had an exceptionally traumatic background. Can I tell you about it, or you don't care? Okay. So her mother was a prostitute.
a sex worker. We say now.
Her mother was a sex worker. If that makes you feel
Sex
safer.
work is real work.
Okay. That's a separate debate.
These people are fucking losers. I'm telling you. Like I just hate that we share a society with some of these people who just want to, like, we live in a time where everybody wants to be politically correct. Or we don't say this term, we say that term. We don't. Shut the fuck up. It's not even a debate. This is leading us to this is she's literally trying to walk you to the point she's trying to make, and you're correct. I don't like people like that who try to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you talk to somebody in your everyday life about something and you mentioned one thing, whether it's outdated or it's a term that everybody globally knows is this thing, but they say, oh, we're that's not a politically correct statement now. We say this. Sex work is real work.
And I'm not. Let's stay on point.
Please.
Before we get into all the woke ideology. So, having said that, the contestant named Shay, her mother used to sleep with men for heroin while she was locked in a closet. And she's going to go home based on the percentages. I didn't make the game, not a producer. Very publicly had issues with the name and the gamification. So I don't want her to go home. And certain things need to happen before I feel, and I have seen, that there would be any hope of her being able to live past 40 years old. And she has all of the things: type 2 diabetes, the beginnings of chronic kidney disease, arterial plaque, all the things that are legitimately alarming. So I can't get her on this freaking ladder. It's day one. Can't get her on for 15 seconds. Tried everything. Cannot get her on this ladder for 15 seconds. And we're playing this out and we're playing it out, not getting anywhere. Because the story is, I'm weak, I'm fat, I'm worthless, I'm this, I'm that, all the internalized shame. And at that moment, I pretty much tried everything. What you don't see is this has gone on for about 4 hours and I can't get her on the freaking ladder. She comes in the room and I'm like, all right, that's it. I'm like, God damn it, get on this freaking ladder. I swear to God, get on the ladder or you're gonna go home. Get on the freaking ladder. Going crazy. And I'm utilizing her fear of me, quite honestly, to circumvent the story that she thinks is true. Long story short, she gets on the ladder, she climbs 15 seconds. I show up the next day. She's like, I got back on the ladder for 15 minutes last night. I was like, that's awesome, dude. And she ended up losing 300 pounds. So you may not agree with it, but it worked for me and it worked for Shay in that moment. You don't know why I'm doing it. You don't understand that it's a life or death intervention on a ticking clock. You don't understand all the other things I've tried. So I kind of don't care. What you guys
How much
think?
of her weight did she gain back?
She gained, well, oh, good one.
'Cause
No,
95%
hold on.
of diets don't work.
Not my contestants. 35% of them kept the weight off, which is actually exceptional. And I could give you all the names. If 5% are able to keep it off, there are obviously a host, a myriad of reasons as to why that's the case. But if I had a 35% success rate, can you at least concede that maybe I'm doing a little bit better than the norm, than the baseline?
I can agree that the #1 celebrity trainer in the entire world has a success rate. That I can concede
You
to.
said keep it off. They kept it off. I got the weight off.
30% of people that went on a public TV show.
All right,
5%
all right,
of
we
the
got to
people
pause
that I
there. We
worked
are
with.
out of time.
My final surrounded claim is that the body positivity.
Telling you, this Jillian Michaels, man. I'm not familiar. I've heard of the show The Biggest Loser. I'm familiar with these. I never watched them shows because they don't really resonate with me, and I don't really just want to watch fat people struggle to lose weight. Sometimes it's interesting. Most of the time, it's not. But this lady, when it comes to debating and these back and forths and these mini micro confrontations, she a fucking gangster, bro. I don't know.
Activity movement is fundamentally disempowering.
If you want to be the next debater, please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, nice to meet you. Hi, Zane.
What form or what do you mean it's disempowering?
Well, I perceive it as follows. First, it's externalized shame, as opposed to appreciating that this is something that does arise within. And if you'll hear me all the way out, I think I can illustrate that for many it is actually a choice, which I know sounds shocking to you, but just stay with me. So it externalizes it first, and then it invalidates it right off the top, right? It's bad, it's evil, it's this, it's that, instead of like, what can we explore, what can we learn here? And then it replaces it with things that I think are platitudes and really difficult to believe. Like, oh no, I'm perfect, I'm beautiful, this, that, but it's not so easy to just believe those things. There's a lot of work that comes along with believing those things, so it can feel like gaslighting. And then the last thing is like anybody who tells you otherwise gets framed as a victimizer. And concern can be shut down where I think it might be necessarily appropriate. So the way I would handle shame would be very different than the way I perceive the movement handling shame. And the same with acceptance. I think acceptance is key. But when I look at acceptance in terms of helping people, I like the serenity prayer best when it comes to Alcoholics Anonymous, right? So it's, God, give me the strength to accept what I cannot change, right? Give me the courage to change the stuff I can, and give me the wisdom to know the difference. I don't see 2 and 3 in the movement, but if you can illustrate it for me.
Yeah, I like to kind of like just share my personal story.
Please.
And I do want to share, and I think it's important that at my biggest, I was.
All right. That's part 1. If you want to see a part 2, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I'm probably going to do a part 2 regardless. But this is what I'm saying. In the debate format, one of the things that always throw me off is instead of debating the claim, instead of coming up and having evidence to back what you're saying, you want to tell your story. And granted, I get sometimes in order to prove your point, you got to tell your story. You got to build that foundation to build your argument. Duh, I get it. Cool. But a lot of these people in the body positivity movement, they want sympathy. They don't want results. They don't want change. They want social acceptance. They want to be able to enjoy the same rites of passage, the same luxuries, which they can as regular, whether you're in shape or you're super duper fit or whatever. They just want social acceptance. And my thing is, why should there be a movement created for a plus size of people who just want social acceptance when you don't need that? You need personal acceptance. If you're genuinely okay with your lifestyle choices and the life that you live and the body shape that you're in, you would be okay with it. You wouldn't need to go seek validation from other people. You wouldn't need to go seek acceptance from other people. They're like, okay, I love my body, but can y'all love my body? I accept my body, but can y'all accept my body? You wouldn't need that if you was genuinely locked in on your own shit. You did not care about how the world sees you because you see yourself like you're this body positive person. You think positively about your body at all times. But hey, that's the video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all with the part 2 shortly. Peace.